The phone call came 3 days before Christmas. I was at work, wrapping up a major project before the holiday break, when my phone lit up with my mother's name. I almost didn't answer. Conversations with her were always exhausting. But it was close to Christmas, so I picked up, expecting maybe a question about what time I'd be arriving or what I wanted for dinner. Instead, I got this. "Rachel, I need to talk to you about Christmas." Her voice was tense, uncomfortable. "Okay, what about it?" "I think it would be best if you didn't come this year." I actually laughed, thought she was joking. "What?" "You heard me. I'm uninviting you from Christmas." The laugh died in my throat. "You're uninviting me? From Christmas? Why?" And then she said the words that would change everything between us forever. "Because you outshine your sister, and it's not fair to her." My name is Rachel Montgomery. I'm 28 years old, and this is the story of how my mother chose my sister's ego over our entire relationship, and how I made sure she understood exactly what that decision cost her. I'm the youngest of two daughters. My sister, Lauren, is 3 years older than me, and for as long as I can remember, she's been my mother's favorite. I don't say that with bitterness, it's just a fact. Growing up, Lauren could do no wrong. She was pretty, popular, charming. She had friends, boyfriends, a social life that my mother lived vicariously through. I was different, quieter, more bookish. I preferred staying home with a novel to going to parties. I got good grades not because I was trying to compete with Lauren, but because I genuinely enjoyed learning. My mother never seemed to know what to do with me. It was like she'd had one template for daughters, the Lauren template, and when I didn't fit it, she just sort of gave up. Lauren went to community college for 2 years, then dropped out when she got engaged to her high school boyfriend, Tyler. My mother was thrilled, threw her an elaborate engagement party, helped her plan a wedding that cost more than my parents could afford. I was 18 at the time, about to graduate high school, and I remember thinking the whole thing was rushed. Lauren was only 21, but I kept my mouth shut because that's what I'd learned to do. Don't rock the boat, don't criticize Lauren, don't make waves. The marriage lasted 2 years. Tyler turned out to be controlling and, according to Lauren, emotionally abusive. When she finally left him, my mother treated her like a war hero. "My brave girl," she'd say. "You're so strong for getting out." Meanwhile, I'd gone to college on a scholarship, majored in engineering, graduated summa cum laude. My mother came to my graduation but left early because Lauren was having a hard day and needed her. I got a job at a tech company, worked my way up, got promoted multiple times. Each achievement was met with a distracted, "That's nice, honey," from my mother, followed immediately by a segue into whatever crisis Lauren was currently experiencing. I tried not to let it bother me. I told myself that some people need more support than others, that Lauren had been through a lot with her divorce, that my mother's favoritism was just her way of helping the child who needed it most. But deep down, it hurt. It always hurt. By the time I was 25, I was doing really well. I'd been promoted to senior engineer, was making 6 figures, had bought my own condo. I was dating someone wonderful, had a solid group of friends, was genuinely happy with my life. Lauren, meanwhile, was living with my parents, working part-time at a salon, still recovering from her divorce 3 years later. And my mother enabled every bit of it, made excuses for why Lauren couldn't get a full-time job, why she couldn't afford her own place, why she needed to borrow money constantly. I watched this happen and said nothing, because I'd learned that defending myself or pointing out the obvious favoritism only made things worse. 2 months before that fateful phone call, I got engaged. My boyfriend, David, proposed during a weekend trip to the mountains. It was perfect, small, intimate, exactly what I wanted. I was over the moon. I called my parents to tell them the news, and my mother's response was lukewarm at best. "That's wonderful, Rachel. Have you set a date?" "Not yet. We just got engaged yesterday." "Well, let me know when you figure it out. I need to see if it conflicts with anything." That stung a bit, but I brushed it off. A week later, David and I had dinner with my parents to celebrate. Lauren was there too, of course. She lived there. The dinner was awkward. My mother kept steering the conversation away from wedding talk. My father tried to be congratulatory but kept looking nervously at my mother and Lauren. Lauren herself barely said 2 words, just pushed food around her plate and looked miserable. After dinner, when David and I were leaving, my mother walked us to the door. "Rachel, can I give you some advice?" "Sure." "Maybe don't talk about the wedding too much around Lauren. You know she's still sensitive about her divorce." I stared at her. "Mom, I got engaged. I'm allowed to be happy about it." "I'm not saying you can't be happy. I'm just asking you to be considerate of your sister's feelings. Lauren got divorced 3 years ago. At some point, she needs to move on." My mother's face hardened. "How dare you? You have no idea what she's been through. And you have no idea what I've been through because you've never bothered to ask. You're so busy protecting Lauren from every uncomfortable feeling that you can't see you're enabling her. She lives with you rent-free, works part-time, borrows money constantly, and you act like she's the victim. Meanwhile, I've built my life on my own with 0 support from you, and somehow I'm the problem?" My mother was silent for a long moment, then coldly, "If you can't understand why I'm making this decision, then maybe it's for the best that you don't come." "Fine." My voice was shaking now, anger and hurt mixing into something volatile. "I won't come. But understand something, Mom. This isn't just about Christmas. You're choosing Lauren over me. Again. And I'm done being the daughter you sacrificed to make her feel better. You're being dramatic. I'm being honest. And when you realize what you've done, when you finally see that you've pushed me away to enable Lauren's stagnation, don't expect me to just forgive and forget." "Rachel." I hung up, sat there in my office, shaking, tears running down my face. My assistant knocked on the door. "Are you okay?" "No," I said, "but I will be." I told David what happened that night. He was furious. "She uninvited you from Christmas because you're successful? That's insane. That's my family. Rachel, that's not normal. That's not okay." "I know." He pulled me close. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know." But deep down, I did know. I was done. Done with the favoritism, done with being made to feel guilty for living my life, done with a mother who saw my accomplishments as threats to my sister's fragile ego. The next day, I called my father. "Dad, did you know Mom was uninviting me from Christmas?" Silence. Then, quietly, "Yes. And you're okay with that?" "I'm not okay with it, but you know how your mother is when she gets an idea in her head. So you're just going along with it? You're letting her exclude me to protect Lauren's feelings?" "Rachel, it's complicated." "No, it's not. It's actually very simple. Mom is choosing Lauren over me, and you're letting her do it. What do you want me to do?" "I want you to stand up for me. I want you to tell her this is wrong. I want you to act like my father instead of her enabler. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. I don't care, Dad. I'm your daughter too, and if you can't see how wrong this is, then you're just as bad as she is." I hung up on him too. Then I called my grandmother, my mother's mother. If anyone could talk sense into her, it was Grandma Helen. I explained the situation. There was a long pause. Then, "Your mother did what?" "She uninvited me from Christmas because I outshine Lauren. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Can you talk to her, please?" "Oh, I'll do more than talk to her. I'll set her straight." An hour later, my phone rang. It was my mother. "You called my mother? How dare you go behind my back?" "I didn't go behind your back. I told her what you did to me. You had no right. I had every right. You uninvited me from Christmas. Did you think I was just going to accept that quietly? My mother is furious with me. She's threatening not to come to Christmas if you're not there. Good. Maybe that'll make you reconsider." "I'm not reconsidering. This is my house, my Christmas, my decision. Then I guess Grandma won't be there either. And honestly, Mom, I hope it's the loneliest Christmas you've ever had." David and I spent Christmas with his family. They were warm, welcoming, actually excited to celebrate my engagement. His mother toasted to our future. His father asked thoughtful questions about my work. His siblings treated me like I'd always been part of the family. It was everything my own family Christmas had never been. And yet, I couldn't stop thinking about my mother, my father, and Lauren sitting around the table without me. Did they miss me? Did they regret what they'd done? Or were they relieved I wasn't there to outshine anyone? My grandmother called me on Christmas Day. "Your mother is miserable," she reported. "Good." "Grandma, I'm not saying she's right, but family is family." "Grandma, she chose Lauren over me. She made it clear I'm less important. Why should I forgive that?" "Because holding on to anger only hurts you." "I'm not holding on to anger. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference." She sighed. "I understand. I do. Your mother has always had a blind spot when it comes to Lauren. She sees her as fragile, as needing protection. She doesn't see that by doing this, she's breaking her relationship with you. Will you tell her that?" "I've tried. She's not ready to hear it." "Then we have no more to talk about." After Christmas, I made a decision. I was done trying to maintain a relationship with my mother and Lauren. I'd keep in touch with my father and grandmother, but the two people who'd made it clear I was expendable, they were out. I blocked my mother's number, blocked Lauren's, changed my address in my parents' contact info to a P.O. box so they couldn't just show up at my condo, removed them from my social media, cut them out completely. Some people might think that's extreme, but I didn't see it that way. They'd made their choice. Now I'm making mine. David and I continued planning our wedding. We set a date, booked a venue, sent out invitations. My mother and Lauren were not invited. My father was, with the explicit understanding that if he brought them or shared details with them, he'd be escorted out. He agreed, though I could hear the pain in his voice. A month after Christmas, my grandmother called. "Your mother wants to talk to you." "I don't want to talk to her." "Grandma, please, she's realized she made a mistake." Wanting to talk because Grandma pressured her isn't the same as actually understanding what she did wrong. She does understand. She's sorry. Then she can put it in writing. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived at my P.O. box. It was from my mother, handwritten on her fancy stationery. I almost threw it away without reading it, but curiosity got the better of me. "Dear Rachel," it began, "I've spent the last 2 months thinking about what happened, about what I said to you, about Christmas without you. Your grandmother has made it very clear that I was wrong. Your father has barely spoken to me, and I've had a lot of time to reflect on my choices. You're right. I did choose Lauren over you. I've been doing it for years, and I didn't even realize it. I told myself I was just helping her through a hard time, that you were strong enough to not need me the same way, but the truth is, I was taking the easy path. It was easier to support Lauren because she needed so much that I never had to think too hard about it. With you, I'd actually have to pay attention, actually engage, actually celebrate things that made me uncomfortable because they highlighted how stuck Lauren was. Uninviting you from Christmas was cruel. I see that now. I was so focused on protecting Lauren from her feelings that I didn't consider yours at all. I treated you like you were invulnerable, like your success meant you didn't need love or support or validation. I was wrong. I hurt you in ways I'm only now beginning to understand. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I deserve forgiveness, but I want you to know that I'm sorry. Truly, deeply sorry, and I'm trying to do better. I've started seeing a therapist to work through why I've been favoring Lauren so much. I've had some hard conversations with your sister about enabling and boundaries. I'm trying to change. I know it's too late. I know I've damaged our relationship beyond repair, but I needed you to know that I see what I did, and I'm sorry. Love, Mom. I read the letter 3 times. Felt a confusing mix of emotions. Anger that it took this long, relief that she finally saw it, skepticism that anything would actually change. I showed it to David. "What do you think?" "I think it's a start," he said carefully, "but words are easy. What matters is whether she follows through." "Should I respond? Do you want to?" I thought about it. Did I want to? Part of me wanted to burn the letter and never think about her again. But another part of me, the part that still remembered being a little girl who just wanted her mother's approval, felt a tiny flicker of hope. "I don't know," I said honestly. I sat on it for a week. Then I wrote back. Not a long letter, just a short one. "Mom, I received your letter. I appreciate the apology. But apologies mean nothing without changed behavior. If you're serious about doing better, prove it. Show me over time that you've actually learned something. Until then, we have nothing more to discuss. Rachel. I mailed it and tried to move on with my life. David and I threw ourselves into wedding planning. We chose a venue, a beautiful garden estate outside the city. We picked colors, flowers, food. We interviewed photographers and DJs. Every decision we made felt right, felt like us. And through it all, I felt lighter without my mother and Lauren in my life. I didn't have to manage their feelings, didn't have to downplay my excitement, didn't have to walk on eggshells. I could just be happy. My grandmother was involved in the planning, and she was wonderful. She came to dress shopping, cried when I found the one, helped me with invitations. She never brought up my mother unless I asked, and even then she kept it brief. She's still in therapy. She's trying. That's all I can tell you. 3 months before the wedding, my father called. Rachel, your mother wants to know if she can come to the wedding. No. She's really trying to change. She's seeing a therapist. She's set boundaries with Lauren. She even kicked her out. Lauren has her own apartment now. That surprised me. Lauren moved out? 2 months ago. Your mother told her it was time to stand on her own feet. It caused a huge fight, but she held firm. That's good, but it doesn't change my answer. Rachel, she's your mother. She was my mother. Then she chose to uninvite me from Christmas because I made Lauren feel bad about herself. That's not something I can just get over. I understand, but people make mistakes. She's trying to fix hers. Dad, I appreciate that you're trying to mediate, but this is between me and her, and right now I don't want her at my wedding. Maybe that'll change someday, but not today. He sighed. Okay, I'll tell her. Dad? Yeah? Thank you for not pushing, and thank you for staying in my life even though I know it's hard. You're my daughter, Rachel. I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you before. I'm trying to do better now. I know. I love you. I love you too. 4 weeks before the wedding, I got another letter from my mother. This one was shorter. Rachel, I understand why I'm not invited to your wedding. I accept that, but I wanted you to know that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the life you've built, the woman you've become. I'm sorry I never said it before. I hope someday you'll let me back into your life, but if you don't, I understand that too. Congratulations on your wedding. I hope it's everything you've dreamed of. Mom. I cried when I read it. Not because I was ready to forgive her, but because hearing those words, I'm proud of you, was something I'd waited my entire life to hear. My wedding day was perfect. The weather cooperated, sunny but not too hot. The venue looked like something out of a fairy tale. My dress fit perfectly. David cried when he saw me walk down the aisle. My grandmother gave a toast that made everyone laugh and cry. My father walked me down the aisle and told me he loved me. It was everything I'd ever wanted, and my mother and Lauren weren't there. I'd wondered if their absence would cast a shadow over the day, if I'd spend the whole time thinking about what was missing. But I didn't. I was too busy being present, being happy, celebrating with the people who'd actually shown up for me. My friends, David's family, my grandmother, my father, the chosen family I'd built over the years. At the reception, during a quiet moment, my grandmother pulled me aside. I have something for you. She handed me a small box. Inside was a bracelet, delicate gold with tiny charms. This was your great-grandmother's. She wanted you to have it. Grandma, this is too much. No, it's not. You're building a new life, a new family, but you come from somewhere. You come from women who were strong, who persevered, who built good lives despite difficult circumstances. Your mother lost sight of that, but I never did. You're remarkable, Rachel, and I'm so proud of you. I hugged her, crying again. Thank you for everything, for being there when she wasn't. Always, sweetheart, always. The wedding ended late. David and I left in a shower of flower petals and cheers, drove to a hotel for our wedding night. The next day, we flew to Italy for our honeymoon. 2 weeks of wine and pasta and exploring ancient cities. It was blissful. When we got back, there was a package waiting at our condo. Inside was a beautiful set of kitchen towels, expensive, monogrammed with our new shared last name. The card read, "Congratulations. I wish I could have been there to see you so happy. Love, Mom." I stood there holding the towels, feeling that confusing mix of emotions again. Anger that she thought a gift could fix things, sadness that she'd missed my wedding, a tiny, reluctant softening towards her efforts to make amends. David and I settled into married life, bought a house, talked about starting a family. I got another promotion at work, director of engineering. It was surreal and amazing. My father came to my promotion celebration. So did my grandmother. My mother was not invited, but she sent flowers to my office with a card reading, "Congratulations on your promotion. I always knew you'd do great things." I kept the card. I don't know why. Maybe because some part of me was starting to believe she meant it. 6 months after my wedding, my grandmother called. "Your mother would like to have coffee with you. Just the two of you, no pressure, no expectations, just coffee." "I don't know, Grandma. She's not the same person she was a year ago, Rachel. Therapy has changed her. She's doing the work." "What about Lauren? What about her? Is she still mad at me for existing?" Grandma laughed. "Lauren's actually doing better. She got a full-time job, she's dating someone new, she's standing on her own feet for the first time in years. Turns out, your mother enabling her was the problem. So, uninviting me from Christmas fixed everything except me." "I wouldn't say that. It was a wake-up call, a painful one. But your mother has changed, Rachel. She really has. She's not asking for forgiveness, she's asking for coffee." I thought about it for a week, talked to David, talked to my therapist, talked to myself in the mirror at 3 in the morning when I couldn't sleep. Finally, I called my grandmother back. 1 coffee, 1 hour, public place. If she says one thing that minimizes what she did, I'm leaving and we're done. Fair enough. We met at a coffee shop near my office, neutral territory. I got there first, ordered my coffee, sat at a corner table with my back to the wall. My mother arrived 5 minutes later. She looked older, tired, smaller somehow. "Rachel," she said, sitting down across from me, "thank you for coming." "I'm here. That's all I'm promising." She nodded. "That's more than I deserve." We sat in awkward silence for a moment. Then she said, "I'm not going to waste your time. I asked you here to say I'm sorry, not the sorry I wrote in the letter, not the sorry I said through your grandmother, a real apology, face to face." "Okay." "I failed you as a mother. For years, I prioritized Lauren's feelings over yours. I treated you like you were invulnerable because you were successful, like you didn't need love or validation or support. I enabled Lauren's stagnation and punished your growth. And when you called me out on it, instead of listening, I doubled down. I uninvited you from Christmas to protect Lauren from feeling bad about herself. That's not something I can just get over." "I understand, but people make mistakes. She's trying to fix hers." "Dad, I appreciate that you're trying to mediate, but this is between me and her, and right now, I don't want her at my wedding. Maybe that'll change someday, but not today." He sighed. "Okay, I'll tell her." "Dad?" "Yeah? Thank you for not pushing, and thank you for staying in my life even though I know it's hard. You're my daughter, Rachel. I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you before. I'm trying to do better now." "I know. I love you. I love you too." 4 weeks before the wedding, I got another letter from my mother. This one was shorter. "Rachel, I understand why I'm not invited to your wedding. I accept that, but I wanted you to know that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the life you've built, the woman—" I took a sip of my coffee, processing this. That's honest. I'm trying to be. I spent my whole life not being honest, not looking at my own issues. It's time I did. What about Lauren? How does she feel about all this? She's angry. We've had a lot of hard conversations. She's starting to see how much I enabled her, and she resents it. We're working on our relationship. It's not easy. Do you still favor her? My mother thought about it, really thought about it. I don't know. Old patterns are hard to break, but I'm aware of it now. I catch myself. I try to do better. That's something, I guess. We sat in silence for another moment. Then she said, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect us to have a relationship, but I needed you to know that I see what I did. I own it, and I'm sorry. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I said, I don't forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever. What you did hurt me in ways I'm still unpacking in therapy. You made me feel worthless, unwanted, like my success was a character flaw instead of something to be proud of. That's not something I can just let go. She nodded, tears in her eyes. I understand. But, I continued, I appreciate the apology. I appreciate that you're doing the work, and maybe, someday, if you keep doing the work, we can try to rebuild something. Not what we had, that's gone, but something new. I'd like that, she whispered. Don't get your hopes up. I'm not making any promises. This is a first step, that's all. A first step is more than I thought I'd get. We finished our coffee, talked about neutral things, my job, her garden, the weather. When we said goodbye, she asked if we could do this again. I said maybe, no promises. She hugged me. I let her, but I didn't hug back. Not yet. That was 2 years ago. My mother and I have coffee once a month now, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how I'm feeling. It's not a perfect relationship, it probably never will be, but it's better than nothing. Slowly, carefully, we're building something new. She asks about my work now, actually listens to my answers, celebrates my promotions without making it about Lauren. She came to my 30th birthday party and gave a toast about how proud she is of me. I cried during that toast, not because everything was fixed, but because hearing her say those words in front of other people, publicly claiming pride in me, meant something. Lauren and I have a cordial relationship now. We're not close, too much damage, too much history, but we can be in the same room without tension. She's doing better, has a steady job, a serious boyfriend, her own life. She apologized to me last year for her role in everything. It wasn't a great apology, lots of I was going through a hard time and I didn't realize, but it was something. My father is proud of both of us, I think. Proud that we're trying. David and I are talking about kids now. The thought terrifies me. What if I'm like my mother? What if I favor one child over the other? What if I damage them the way she damaged me? But my therapist reminds me, awareness is everything. I know what not to do. I know what favoritism looks like, what damage it causes. I can break the cycle. My grandmother passed away 6 months ago. She died peacefully in her sleep, which was a blessing. At her funeral, my mother told me that Grandma's dying wish was for our family to heal. She was so proud of you, my mother said. She never stopped believing you'd do great things. She was the only one who believed in me when it mattered. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make up for that. Some days I believe her. Some days I don't. But I'm trying. We're all trying. If there's a lesson in all of this, it's complicated. It's not a simple story of cutting off toxic family and living happily ever after. It's not a simple story of forgiveness and reconciliation. It's something in between. Sometimes people do change. My mother changed, slowly, painfully, imperfectly, but she changed. She acknowledged what she did wrong. She went to therapy. She did the work. And because of that, we have a relationship now. It's not what I wished for as a child. It's not the mother-daughter bond I see in movies, but it's real, it's honest, and it's ours. But I also learned that I was right to protect myself, right to cut her off when she hurt me, right to set boundaries and enforce them. You can't have a relationship with someone who's actively hurting you, even if that someone is your mother. and you shouldn't sacrifice your peace, your happiness, or your sense of self-worth to make other people comfortable. I spent my whole childhood making myself smaller so Lauren could feel bigger. I was done with that. And setting that boundary, uninviting my mother from my life after she uninvited me from Christmas, was necessary. It forced her to confront what she'd done. It forced her to change. Would she have changed if I'd just forgiven her immediately? I don't think so. Sometimes people need to lose something to understand its value. My mother needed to lose me to understand what she'd been doing to me for years. To anyone out there dealing with parental favoritism, with being the forgotten child, with having your accomplishments minimized to protect a sibling's ego, you're not crazy. You're not oversensitive. What you're experiencing is real, and it's damaging, and you have every right to protect yourself, to set boundaries, to walk away if necessary. Some families can heal, some can't. Only you can decide if yours is worth the effort. But whatever you decide, make sure you're doing it for you, not out of guilt or obligation or fear. Make sure you're protecting your peace, and know that you deserve better. You deserve to be celebrated, not minimized. You deserve parents who are proud of you, not threatened by you. You deserve to shine without being told you're too bright. My name is Rachel Montgomery. I'm 32 years old. My mother uninvited me from family Christmas 2 years ago because my success made her sister feel bad. Those words, "you outshine your sister," shattered something between us. But they also freed me. They gave me permission to stop trying to earn love from someone who'd never given it freely. They forced my mother to confront her own failings, and eventually, after a lot of pain and work and time, they led us to something better. Not perfect, never perfect, but better. I'm successful. I'm married to someone who loves and celebrates me. I have a career I'm proud of. I have a life I've built on my own terms. And I have a mother who, however imperfectly, is trying to be better. That's more than I had 2 years ago. Sometimes I think about that phone call, about how it felt to be uninvited from Christmas, about the rage and hurt and disbelief. Those feelings were valid. That pain was real. But it was also necessary. It was the catalyst for change. If my mother never said those words, we'd probably still be stuck in the same pattern, her enabling Lauren, me feeling invisible, everyone pretending things were fine. Now, we're not pretending anymore. We're being honest. We're doing the work. We're building something new. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. Some days I don't want to try, but I do it anyway. Not for her, for me. Because I deserve the chance to have a mother who sees me, and she deserves the chance to be that mother, if she can. To anyone out there being made to feel like they're too much, like their light is too bright, like their success is a burden to others, shine anyway. Shine brighter. Don't dim yourself for anyone. The people who truly love you will celebrate your light, not fear it. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone feel less alone.